what is this Pillar of the Community?
It's a great award, Gary, from Greater Harleysville North Penn Senior Services, and we select each year one person that has given so much to the community in a variety of ways, certainly through their service to seniors, but also in a lot of other ways. So we go out and we look around and we select someone who's special, who's dedicated, who's community-minded, and guess what?
What?
It's you.
No!
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so what are we going to see tonight?
Oh, it's exciting. We're going to have some insights into your life from the viewpoint of your children, from the viewpoint of your grandchildren, from your brother Rick, and of course some comments by you. We're going to have a silent auction. We're going to have all sorts of opportunities to learn about senior services, a raffle, and there's all sorts of other things that are going to be happening.
Well, let's get started with this.
All right.
That sounds like fun.
Good stuff. Let's go.
Hello, and thank you for being part of our annual Pillar of the Community event. This is our 16th year of honoring people who have made a difference in our communities that we serve. I'm Sherry Strauss. I'm the Chief Retail Officer for Harleysville Bank. I'm the Board President for the Greater Harleysville North Penn Senior Services. I've served on the board for over 10 years. We have two centers. We have Encore Experiences in Harleysville and the Peak Center in Lansdale. The Senior Centers serve as a gateway to the nation's aging network, connecting older adults to vital community services that can help them stay healthy and remain independent. It's my pleasure, and on behalf of the Board of Directors, to thank you for your help and support. This has been such a crazy year, and I'm so proud of our team and the committee for the dedication and support to make this event happen, and with all the changes that we've had to make. We all wish that we could be doing this event live, but due to the circumstances and working with our pillar, we did have to come up with a different way. Again, another dedication of Gary's commitment to make it happen so that we were able to support our seniors. I would like to take this time to congratulate Gary Volpe as our Pillar of the Community. He joins a list of very distinguished past Pillar recipients, all individuals who made our community a better place for their commitment to volunteerism and services. When Paul Nye and I sat down with Gary over lunch to talk to him about this honor, it was great to get to know Gary, and he was so stunned and humbled by this. But the best takeaway I'm going to say for me is that when we asked him, he said he had to go home and ask his wife first. I thought that was great. It was nice to spend that time to get to know Gary, get to know his business, get to know his family, and all that he does for our communities. So it's so appropriate that we are honoring Gary Volpe tonight as our pillar, not only for his dedication to the community, but also for all that he has done for seniors and giving back to so many different organizations. I would like to also take this time to thank all of our sponsors and those in attendance tonight and watching this. It's because of all of you, the volunteers, the family members that help put this together. I also want to take this time for those who participated in our raffle tickets, who enjoyed the amazing meal that we had this evening, and for those that are willing to go to the online auction and purchase items. You have until 9 o'clock tonight to purchase that. This is one of our biggest fundraising events, so I hope that you take the time to support us and look to see what is available. Gary, we are so honored that you said yes. So on behalf of the Board of Directors, I'd like to congratulate you as our 2020 Pillar of the Community. And thank you for your years of service, and thank you for your commitment to this community, and to wish you the very best.
Good evening. I'm Paul Nye, Executive Director of Greater Harleysville North Penn Senior Services. And on behalf of Greater Harleysville North Penn Senior Services, the people who are served at the Peak Center and Encore Experiences, I would like to express sincere thanks to our advertisers and sponsors. This has been an unusual year, as all of you know, and our advertisers and sponsors have been incredibly loyal and committed to us and to helping us to provide services to seniors. We would like to thank our premier sponsor, Asset Planning Services. Our title sponsor is Abington Jefferson Hospital, and our platinum sponsor is Harleysville Bank. We'd also like to thank our gold sponsors. They would be Grandview Health, Living Branches, Univest Financial, Harleysville Rotary, and Miracle Ear. These sponsors and the list that you will see on our website and our media activities and other places, along with our advertisers, have been very faithful, and what they've contributed to is not only this evening's presentation and event, but also the ability to provide incredible and vital services to seniors in our community. Each year we serve over 3,000 seniors at our 2 sites. Our largest single program, our meal program, provides 30,000 meals, well-balanced, nutritionally monitored meals at noontime for seniors. It's a time to eat and to laugh and to fellowship. In addition to our meal program, we also do presentations and seminars for and with our people, presentations such as living with diabetes, preventing diabetes, heart disease, how to cope with it, fall prevention, cooking for 1 or 2 persons, and many other programs. Actually, we offer approximately 50 programs every month. Zoom is our latest hot number, if I may call it that, as we do dancing and we do English as a second language, tech tutoring and other things through Zoom these days. There are many other activities we do, but I want to share with you also how important the social aspect of being with seniors has become. And I'd like to do that by virtue of sharing with you a poem that was written by one of our members named Chris. His poem is entitled, "To Those Who Are Left Behind." It reads, "One or the other must leave, one or the other must stay. One or the other must grieve, for the one who had to leave, that is forever the way. As per the vows we made that day, faithful till death do us part, braving what had to be borne, hiding the ache in our heart, one no matter how much adored, one must be called away. That is the will of the Lord. So one or the other must stay." These are beautiful and inspiring words, and I think they help describe Chris's feelings about the importance of being with people you love, whether it be a spouse or dear friends and other folks whom you trust, whom you relate to, who are very special to you. We try to provide, and we do provide, that kind of environment for seniors at the Peak Center and at Encore Experiences, a place where they can socialize, they can be with their friends and laugh and share and interact every single day. Those kinds of socialization opportunities are very, very important. While they're there, they do lots of activities, as I've noted. They might decide to play billiards, to do Wii bowling. They might be seeking legal aid or do tech tutoring, get help with voter registration or Medicare benefits, find out how to apply for veterans benefits or rental rebates. But a big, big part of what they seek is having a place that they can trust and people who have compassion and love for them. Our goal at Greater Harleysville North Penn Senior Services is to provide that kind of place, a place that allows people to live independently and to remain active and to know that they're welcome and loved. That's what the sponsors, the advertisers, and donors empower us to do for the people of our community. Now, lest you be misinformed, your opportunity to participate in supporting these kinds of services is not over. Our silent auction is open until 9 o'clock tonight, and there are many items on that auction I'm sure you would enjoy bidding on. You may also go to the scrolling ticker and see how to make a donation participate in the auction, or find other special items to contribute to. We want to thank everyone who is part of this celebration, and we look forward to sharing and recognizing Gary Volpe as Pillar of the Community 2020.
When I lost my wife, I was sitting at home, lonely, sulking, and lost. Some friends said, check out Encore, and I did check it out, and now I eat there 5 days a week. I shoot pool, I volunteer, and I look forward every day to seeing great friends. It was a lifesaver for me. Thank you, Encore.
I came to the Peak Center at the advice of a friend from church who enjoyed the delicious community lunch and felt welcomed. Now I am the leader of Storytime and enjoy playing Scrabble or doing jigsaw puzzles and love lunchtime with my friends.
I like to stay active, so it made sense to take Zumba, Tai Chi, shoot pool, and even help to serve lunch at Encore. People and friendships are the greatest part of Encore because getting out and talking to folks is important as you age.
The testimonials you've just seen reflect some of the important feelings and needs of our seniors at Peak and at Encore. One thing that all of our seniors typically share is the love they have for their families. And if you ask them, some of the most important members of their families are their grandkids. When you ask a senior about their grandchildren, typically their eyes light up, they get a smile, and they can't wait to start talking. This past week, we had an opportunity to meet with Gary and see how he interacts with and how he relates to his grandchildren, and we're thrilled to give you a little insight into how that visit went.
We are going to show you some fun things we do with Grandpa.
Guys, this is called a slug.
It has
No legs. You read that. It says no legs with it. Good job.
That's these nails. Willie, look. 9 legs.
Is that a bee? Oh, Grandma's getting in the car. You want to look for bugs. Do you like bugs that much? Find a bug.
Ew, what are these? Ew!
See him in there too.
What are they?
You see him?
Oh, look. Grandpa has some, Ella. Look in there. Maybe. Hey, did you get some?
You want one? You want another one?
They're legit.
Mom, what is that? Ew, they're sneaky. We need to pick them up from the top of
Good job. Here,
Oh, you got one. Landon got one for you.
Here.
Ella, I'll show all your bugs.
No. I got one. Ew, they stink.
I love bacon.
We are so excited to honor Gary Volpe as the pillar of the community tonight. When I first started announcing that he was the choice, I started making emails, phone calls, having conversations, and I would tell people, Gary Volpe is the pillar this year. The responses were so similar and so uplifting. I immediately heard comments like, "You really picked the right guy. Boy, is he incredibly deserving. Wow, is that a terrific choice?" And I heard it over and over and over again because people who are involved in the community know Gary and know what a contributor he is to the community. Well, Gary's been around for quite a while. In fact, his company celebrates its 50 years in business this year. That would have to tell you something. Any company that works for 50 years certainly has a great reputation and a great work ethic and a great product. But Gary isn't just the head of a wonderful company. Gary's a leader in his church. He's been president of the Harleysville Rotary Club, and even more recently now he's in a leadership position with the District of Rotary. He's a volunteer for food distribution in the community. Every year, Gary and his company hold a charity event and designate a particular charity to receive all of the benefits and all the proceeds. And Gary has forever supported seniors. We know that as Greater Harleysville North Penn Senior Services, but Gary has been a volunteer and a sponsor and an advertiser and a supporter of us. We are so pleased to have Gary as our honoree. You've already heard from Gary's grandchildren, but now let's hear from some of his friends and family.
I would just have to say that work ethic. I think the work ethic he instilled in all of us, and speak for you two as well, but I think all of us have a very good work ethic and are driven to always do better, and I believe that is because of how he raised us, and even coming through the company, how he brought us through the company. Like, we all started out, I remember, my first job was to pick up slate shingles off the ground because I wasn't allowed up on the roof. I was like 15, 16 years old over there in Hatfield. And I thought it was the hardest job I ever had to do. And it just, but without him pushing me to do it, it helped make me who I am today, and had the work ethic that I have today. And just, again, he just really drilled that home for us. And it might not have always been the easiest for us, but in the end, now you look back with the perspective that you can see, wow, like he really knew what he was doing and what he was trying to accomplish in us, and I think he succeeded. So I think that's the one main thing I would take away.
Sounds cliche, but I say value of community, value of people. And it's a little bit cliche because it's the pillar of the community, but he's always been somebody that wants to work with people, help people. So for me, I think as I've probably more recently, the value, importance of being able to connect with somebody and show you really care. So I think that's what I've probably learned later in life, more so from him.
Yeah. My thing lately has been that a smart man has once told me, and the reason I say that to him sometimes is because he has taught me and us so much, and to come up with one thing I think is really difficult to do, but if I were to actually come up with and say one thing would be to do it right and do it right the first time. You know, and that's with everything that you do. Just keep that in your mind, that you're doing the right thing and doing it right the first time. And even if it costs more money to do it right, that it will last longer, it will stay.
Because he said, you know, if you make a mistake, it's going to cost you twice as much.
That's right, because so if we made a mistake on the job, he would make us go back and fix it. You know, so he would say that, you know, you do it right the first time, you know, so that it doesn't leak and that it lasts. And again, it goes for everything. It doesn't matter if it's, you know, spiritual or in the church, or if it's personal or in your marriage or anything. It's if you keep that in the forefront of your mind, I think that, you know, you look at it and and it just works.
I think another, how to be a father.
Yeah.
Now that we all have kids, I think.
Well, he said one thing.
Well, we're round robbering it. So how to be a father, for me, like you look at what Michael said about, you know, now he's doing T-ball with Landon. You know, you reflect on how he raised us and how you see us in him and how we raise our kids and how we make time for our kids and are around our kids. So how to be a father.
I agree with what David said too. It's just like, you know, just being a father, like the way that he raised us, and now that we all have kids, it's like, man, you find, like, it brings back memories of how we were played with, and, you know, it's just like, it brings back those good memories of, you know, horseback rides, and obviously baseball, and soccer, and just a time spent throwing the football in the backyard, or playing wiffle ball in the backyard. Like, you know, it just triggers all those memories that sometimes you don't really have time to think about.
Yeah.
Fitting, you know, I'm not bragging about him, but for me, it's about time for him to be honored. He is very gracious in not needing the acknowledgments, and I think this is just fitting for him and everything he's done for the community, to have this been given to him, or honored, you know, honor being placed to him. So for me, it's fitting.
I would say that, you know, very humble, you know, as far as for my father, and I don't think he would ever nominate himself or anything like that, but I think that you look at him and, you know, everything he's done, not only the community, giving back, what he's done to provide for us and the family and families around him, and the way he's supported other people in the community. I think it's just, you know, it's amazing when you look back on everything that he has done and everything that he has accomplished. That like you know, we were talking about, like, it's such an honor to have your father, you know, as far as chosen to be the pillar of the community.
I would agree with both of the statements. I feel that it is a fitting award for him. I think that, you know, seeing his predecessors that received the award, I think it suits him well, and he definitely deserves it. And, you know, sometimes, you know, he was our dad, so, you know, and also we were growing up during the time, we didn't always know what he was up to. You know, he's coaching us, he was committee man for a little while, and
a long while.
Yeah. I remember those days. So yeah,
child labor, free child labor.
Yeah.
Stamps and
stamps and licking envelopes. Yeah, but I think that you know, so when we're in it, you don't really see how much he's done, but then you're able to step back and get to perspective and see, man, he's done a lot, and there's probably so much more that he's done that we don't even know about, because he just is so humble, and he is so humble, and, you know, we didn't know back then.
Yeah.
What I think he enjoys, and what like I think we see, is that he likes helping other people, and I think that The ward in itself is the pillar of the community. Community is what you give back to the community. When you look back through his life and what Michael said with being a committee man and being involved in that for as long as he was, and walking to Menson Township and shaking people's hands and being involved in the community back then, and how it's even transcended through his business and then taking on the role of Rotary and working his way up in Rotary to become president and being honored there. You look back and you go, it's fitting for him on the 50th year anniversary of Volpe Enterprises that he's being honored this way.
And too, and not expecting anything in return, just doing it, out of the goodness of his heart and not expecting anything back.
Yeah.
I am Rick Volpe, Gary's brother. I'd like to have a few opening remarks to share some history about the relationship with my brother and why he is so dedicated to community service and family. So over the past 60 years, I've been following in the footsteps of my brother, and it has been both painful and joyful. Before any point in time that I can actually remember, I began trying to keep up with my brother. We're baby boomers, born in the 1950s. When I was 15 months old and Gary was 30 months, we shared a bedroom in my parents' 1,000 square foot red brick rancher in Plymouth Meeting. I was 15 months younger than Gary at that time. Well, actually, I'm still 15 months younger than Gary. From my crib, I could easily see Gary in his crib across the room. He was quite the monkey. Since he was almost 3 years old, he could easily climb up and out of his crib whenever he wanted. After receiving visual instruction from Gary on many occasions, I decided to give it a try myself at 15 months old. From what I am told, I must have been successful on the first half of this adventure, gradually working my way up to the top of the rail. Making it to the floor did not take near as much time. I broke my collarbone, which in hindsight was much better than breaking my head. Maybe that's when Gary gave me my nickname, Boo Boo. When I began speaking some syllables, I called him Gaga. These names of affection didn't change for many years during our childhood. There's another Boo Boo Gaga story, again related to my crib, and again as shared by our mother. Mom was a war bride. Dad met her while stationed in Belgium at the end of World War II in the mid-1940s. They got married in Antwerp and honeymooned in Paris. After Dad's tour of duty with the Army was complete, he brought his beautiful Belgian bride back to Norristown and lived at his parents' home. Dad went to work as a bricklayer, and Mom was a seamstress in a factory. A few years later, they bought the little 3-bedroom red brick rancher. That's where Gary and I shared a bedroom. Gary was a very caring and helpful brother. Well, actually, he's still very caring and helpful. Mom told us the story of an episode of Gary's helpfulness. She took pictures to memorialize it. In our bedroom, Gary would watch Mom change my diaper. Part of the process included baby powder on my butt. Gary concluded that baby powder must be good for Boo Boo whenever Boo Boo would have a stinky diaper. Since we shared a bedroom, this was not hard to detect. On one occasion, without Mom there, Gary took it upon himself to be helpful. He sprinkled baby powder all over his little brother, the crib and the floor. I looked like Casper the Friendly Ghost. We have the picture to prove it. In spite of these painful experiences, Gary and I were inseparable. As young kids, we watched our favorite Saturday morning cartoons in the living room. We shared a cushioned wooden armchair. Gary would have his arm around my shoulders, twirling my hair. I would suck my thumb. This went on for years. Well, not the thumb sucking, but sharing our favorite chair. As I grew up, the chair somehow became smaller and smaller. One day, as we were laughing at cartoons, the wooden chair split in two and we were suddenly on the floor laughing hysterically. We tried gluing that old chair back together, but without success. Although the chair separated, we never did. As I mentioned, Gary and I were part of the 1950s baby boom generation. There were tons of kids in our neighborhood. There was always a different backyard to play in. One time in our backyard, we were playing with a group of friends. I was about 4 years old. Gary and some of the older boys were climbing our big cherry tree. I must have thought to myself, I can do that too. So I followed Gary's footsteps again with similar results. This time I broke my other collarbone. I still missed my head. We've been told by our parents, family, and neighbors that Gary and I were very active kids. The Plymouth Township Police Department had nicknames for us, Geronimo and Crazy Horse. We weren't really bad kids, just active, lots of energy. When we were about 7 or 8 years old, our dad found a way to channel our energy. He told us we could collect used newspapers from our neighbors and sell them for money. So every Saturday that summer, we took our little red wagon around the neighborhood, knocked on doors, and asked for newspapers. When the wagon was fully loaded, we would make our way back home. One of us would pull, and the other pushed and held the pile from falling over the side. We made piles about 12 inches high, used twine to secure all the sides, and then stacked them to the ceiling in our parents' garage. By the end of summer, we had what must have been at least 20 newspaper towers. Dad called the waste paper man, who arrived with a large black dump truck. He weighed our paper stacks. We helped him load the truck, and then we were paid in cash. $16. We were rich. Keep in mind, this was 1959. Because of inflation, that would be the same as $150 today. Not bad for some little kids. And tax-free. Our self-employed business spirit was ignited. We were inseparable. This continued into 6th grade when our parents encouraged us to attend an informational meeting at our school about the formation of a new Boy Scout troop there. We attended with a bunch of our neighborhood buddies, and by the end of the evening, many signed up. Gary and I were each elected as patrol leader for about 6 other boys. More brotherly competition. 5 years later, we both achieved Eagle Scout at the same time. A couple of years later in 1970, in our mid-teens and at the encouragement of our father, now a commercial building contractor, we started Volpe Brothers Roofing. In 1975, when I finished my engineering degree at Lehigh and moved to Massachusetts, I sold my half of the business to Gary. He changed the name from Volpe Brothers Roofing to simply Volpe Roofing. I should have had a lawyer. As the expression goes, the rest is history. Today, it's Volpe Enterprises. We continued to be inseparable. When my wife and I moved back to Pennsylvania in 1980, we purchased a building lot in Tomenson Township. Gary and Janet were able to purchase an adjoining lot. We built our houses at the same time. Over the next 40 years, it's been great to see our 4 children grow up as neighbors with their 3 cousins at interwoven ages. All 7 of the children were able to participate in community baseball, and Gary was their coach. It was the beginning of his community service. Now, after 40 years as neighbors, our families continue to enjoy Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter celebrations right next door. I started out this speech by saying that following in the footsteps of my brother has been both painful and joyful. Looking back over some 60 years, I'm happy to say the joy eclipses the pain. His caring and helpfulness has been a blessing to our family, his employees, and our community. I'm proud to acknowledge him as my brother, a pillar of the community.
Now that you've heard from Gary's family and friends, it's my honor and privilege to introduce Gary Volpe, the 2020 Pillar of the Community.
Hey, come on in, have a seat, relax. I've been asked to read you a story. The title is Life is Good. Once upon a time, there was a young man who married a beautiful young woman, and they built a house in Tomenson Township. Their name is Volpe, which means fox in Italian. See the fox from the book? They have lived there for almost 40 years. The man's wife and he have 3 sons, Michael, Stephen, and David. As he likes to say, Merck, Sharp, and Dohme. Born in that order, MSD. They have 3 beautiful daughter-in-laws, Stacy, Misty, and Jackie, and 8 wonderful grandchildren. Morgan is 8 and is the oldest grandchild, and Lucas is the youngest at 2. In between them are Maya, Emma, Landon, Jude, Liam, and Ella. The man realizes life is good. But let's go back, way back, when his younger brother Rick and he were about 8 or 9 years old. They climbed up on the back of their parents' garage roof. They ripped the shingles off and they threw them like mini frisbees across the yard to see who could throw the farthest. The older brother was sure he had won, but when their dad came home, he didn't seem to care who won. He was very unhappy, and it hurts to think of what happened next. They probably weren't thinking of starting a roofing company at that time, but 8 years later in 1970, they started Volpe Brothers Roofing. Rick retired from roofing in 1974. His brother still doesn't know why he left. You can get a great tan when it's 125 degrees on the roof surface. Maybe it was the winter, when it was 10 degrees, that made him change his career path. Well, the year after he left, there was a new partner in the company. Janet joined him as his business and life partner. As of July 26, 2020, they are married 45 years. He ponders, how can it be? This year, their company, Volpe Enterprises, is also celebrating an anniversary, their 50th. Their sons run the business today, and they are now a complete home renovation company. In the past several years, the company has raised and donated over $260,000 to local charitable organizations. It is gratifying for both Janet and her husband to see their sons have continued in the tradition of giving back to the community, both personally and through the company. The man realizes life is good. They started to watch their oldest grandson, Landon, play t-ball. It doesn't seem like all that long ago that he was coaching their son's t-ball teams and see the grandparents cheering. They used to joke, "Someday that will be us." Janet looks at her husband and says, "Honey, that day has arrived." Coaching over 20 of his 3 sons' baseball and soccer teams over several years was a great experience. The man realizes life is good. During his coaching years, he also found the time to be a committee man in Towmenson Township for 18 years. When he was asked his political affiliation, he will not answer other than to say he was on the right side. He declares the best part of serving as a committee man was meeting the people in the district. It was a good way to keep in touch with the community's needs and help residents when possible. A relaxing activity for him is driving his 1929 Model A Ford along with the North Penn Model A Club. People along the road will wave and he will blow the horn. Auga! Recently, Janet and her husband jumped into the Model A and met up with some of the club members. In a train of 25 vintage cars, they take a trip to Valley Forge area to visit a World War II veteran on hospice. Everyone thanked the veteran for his service as he wipes tears from his eyes. It was a great outing. The man realizes life is good. Volunteering his time to many community projects through the Rotary Club of Harleysville occupies much of his efforts today. Rotary organizes service projects to help charitable organizations or individuals in need. The hands-on involvement with projects For the Garden of Health, the Keystone Opportunity Center, Sebastian Riding Academy, and other organizations bonds the Rotary Club together for common good of our community. He serves in a few leadership roles during his 5 years in Rotary. He is currently the membership chair for the 47 clubs in the Rotary District. He has often said that the people in Rotary are some of the most caring and giving individuals he has ever met. The man realizes life is good. Janet says, you have to tell them who the man in the story is. So, in case you haven't figured it out yet, it's me. But I'm not done with my experiences, so please don't leave. I was not much of a believer before joining a startup church in 1991. If someone wanted to talk about Jesus, God, the Bible, I would just shut them down, almost like it hurt my ears. I can't give you an exact time when changes were made in my life, but I can tell you two things. Only God, by grace, can make that change, and I praise God for making that change in me. This is not a sermon, but I felt compelled to let you know that I was just like some of you watching tonight. Janet and I have belonged to the Cornerstone Church of Skipback since it began, where we have been involved in various roles for many years. I realize life is good. I'm not sure when this happened, but we became senior citizens. One thing I have always done is to listen to someone who has experience, someone who has lived it and can tell us about it. Seniors have the knowledge of many things, including an appreciation for our country's history, because they have lived it. They know that history can't be torn down, erased, or replaced, even if we made some mistakes along the way. They will tell you the United States is the best country in the world in which to live. Our seniors know that our country is worth fighting for, and many of them have. We thank you for your service. In our country, life is good. Let's preserve what we have. One constant in my life has been Janet. She has supported me through good times and bad, has picked me up when things went wrong, made me look good by doing the work behind the scenes and never wanting to take any credit. Always thinking of me first. She is the reason for my successes. Whether love, children, business, or faith, Janet excels at all of them. After 45 years of marriage, I know I got the better arrangement. I love you, Janet, and thank you for all you have done for me. And the man and the woman lived happily ever after. I would like to thank Sherry Strauss, Paul Nye, and the entire board of directors of the Greater Harleysville and North Penn Senior Services for selecting me for the Pillar of the Community Award. This is a special honor that I will never forget. Life is definitely good.
Well, we actually made it, Gary. Did you sometimes wonder whether we'd get to this point?
No, Paul, I didn't think we ever get to this point.
Well, we did, and that's great news.
Yeah.
This is the part where we get to actually give you awards, small recognitions of what you've done. First, I want to tell you that you're going to get a citation from the Senate of the State of Pennsylvania. Given the timing of our event, and everyone knows it's virtual, it's not yet here, but it has been approved, and you will be receiving a citation of recognition of your leadership from the Senate in the state of Pennsylvania. So congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
We have two very special awards, we think, that we put together that we hope show some kind of the power and the uniqueness of who Gary Volpe is and some of his history. So first, let me share one that is meant to recognize and highlight your professional career. We have here a handmade saw and cane. This is not casting aspersions on how old either of us is getting, but it's in recognition of your craft. We couldn't fit the plaque on a hammer,
Yes.
so we went with the saw. It's handmade by Brad Smith, and it is the first piece of recognition for you in recognition of your craft, your ability, your skill.
Thank you very much. And you couldn't have gone to a better person than Brad Smith.
Absolutely. Very talented. Why don't we put that aside for just a moment? And we'll give you the second award, which was also designed to highlight.
Oh, look at that.
This is a Model A Roadster, am I correct?
Yeah, yes.
Model A Roadster, and the plaque says, Gary Volpe, 2020 Pillar of the Community, Greater Harleysville and North Penn Senior Services. So we hope that you'll be reminded as you look at this of how special we think you are and the wonderful contributions that you've made to the community. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'll tell you what, this has been quite the honor to have something like this. This is the first time I've had anything like this. This is incredible. And these things that you bought are so perfect. I mean, a Model A Roadster. Who would have thought? Right. It is great honor, and thank you very much.
Congratulations, Gary. You are a pillar of the community.
Thank you.
Please don't go anywhere. We still have some great treats to share. The Volpe Fox will be here in person. We'll be choosing the raffle winners, and after that, a live visit from the Volpe home. A viewing party, as it were, with comments from Gary. But first, one more final reminder. The auction is still open. There are great items that you can purchase, including dinner with Gary and Janet Volpe at their home. This and other great items are available, so go right to the auction as soon as you can. You can still make donations on our website. Remember, meals for our seniors are only $2 per person, so if you make a donation of $50, you're buying 25 meals. And if you make a donation of $100, you're buying 50 meals. So go there and consider sharing meals with our seniors. You can also support virtual programs, social services, and other kinds of activities. Check the ticker scrolling at the bottom of your screen and bid often and frequently and generously. Now, we'll move on. Well, we've gotten to the point in this evening's festivities that we're going to draw the winners for the raffle prizes. All we need is the fox. Where is that fox? Well, while we're waiting, maybe it's helpful for me to thank everyone who has participated in the raffle. We had 194 participants purchasing tickets, or a total of 194 tickets being sold. We are thrilled and appreciative for the services that's going to provide. Now, all we need is that fox. Where is that fox? Oh, there's our fox. All right, welcome, Miss Fox. Yes, the Volpe mascot. We're glad to see you. Well, we're ready to gather and choose the raffle winners. The first ticket of the three will win $50. Miss Fox, will you choose a winner, please? All right, here we go. A little warm up here. Get the paws all loosened up. There we go. And the first winner is Connie Marr. Congratulations, Connie. Connie wins $50. All right. Well, the second winner wins $100. Let's see who the second winner is, Miss Fox. Put those paws into action. Here we go. Here we go. And the second winner is Louise Shaheen. Congratulations, Louise. You're a winner, $100. And finally, what we call the grand prize, $250. This is the big one. Get it right here, Miss Fox. Here we go. Loosening up, cranking it away. Oh, boy. Already. And the winner of $250 is James Hardy. Congratulations, James. And thank you, everyone who participated in our raffle and commemorative tree. As we conclude our 2020 Pillar of the Community Award honoring Gary Volpe as that pillar, we want to once again thank our sponsors, advertisers, donors, and participants. We also want to thank the committee, our board of directors, our staff, and everyone who has participated and supported this evening's event and who supports services to seniors. Thank you very much for being part of this event.
Hello. Paul Nye wanted me to comment on the program you just watched. All my life, I have tried to be truthful, even when it didn't feel good. We even put honesty in our company motto. I want to tell you that I did not think the program was very good. It was excellent. It was outstanding, brilliant, tremendous, amazing, and entertaining. Thank you, Paul, Connie, Dan, and the committee for delivering absolutely a first-rate production. They have spent many hours putting this together. Information gathering, interviewing, filming, and many other logistics, which was not easy with the COVID situation the way it's going right now. So the committee that was put together by Paul and Connie to put this thing together, also, I have to thank them. In fact, I'll quickly read their names. No, I'm not. It's going to take me too long. There's a great committee, though. And they did so much work towards this. I thank you for that. Rick, compliments, praise, the thing with the powder and the broken bones. You forgot to mention about getting hit in the head by a rock by me, but that's okay. We did a lot of different things. And thank you very much for that, for those comments. My sons, I felt excellent about what they said. It was just so heartfelt testimonials, and the tears were in my eyes as those comments were being made. And my daughter-in-laws, forgetting all our grandkids, are in the other room. If you'd like to see them, I'll bring them all in. No, we're not going to do that. Stay there, kids, because the daughter-in-laws, to get them all here is a big deal. We had all of us had a great dinner that came from the senior center. We all had steak tonight. And of course, my beautiful wife, Janet, thank you for being behind me, like I said in my statement, all the time, to bring me to this point. Thank you very much. I'm glad through this event that we were able to raise thousands of dollars to benefit senior citizens. I will remember this day for many years to come. It certainly will be one that I'll remember until my last days. So please, we still have a couple of dinners left to come over here. Bid on those dinners, bid on the other things that are in the auction. So thank you very much, and good day.